Hi everybody, my name is Antonia. Today I will be answering some questions, doing my first hair care video, which is pretty much an introduction to my long hair journey. So the first question is, what is my hair length? So I just found out it is over 40 inches long, which brings it to classic length. So I will show you classic length. Classic length goes to where your buttocks and thigh meet, so it pretty much just covers all of your butt. So I will walk over here so you can see a little more. So this is my current length, and I just really enjoy classic length. As the name suggests, it's very classic and timeless, and you see it used all throughout history. What would my goal be? So my goal is terminal, and terminal length is different on everyone. So basically what terminal length is, it is the longest your hair will possibly grow. So most hair has a stage where it's either growing or resting. So some people's terminal only will get to their shoulders, some people's will get to the middle of their back, some people's will get to their knees, some people's will go past their feet. My goal length would be my terminal, so I'm finding out what that is right now. I'm hoping my terminal is at least knee. I would love to see it knee to ankle, and who knows, maybe it will just keep going, and that would be very exciting. So my next question is, why do you have long hair? So this is a very good question. I've always loved long hair. I think because I love music, history, and art. So I'll start with art. All throughout art, you think of Renaissance art, Art Nouveau, and just different types of art. You just see all these women with beautiful hair. Like you think of like Venus, where she's just standing and she's just holding her hair, and you know, she's naked, and it's just such a beautiful masterpiece. And you know, you think of Alfonso Mucha, and all his paintings just had beautiful women with all these long hair. So I think being interested in art, that's definitely sparked an interest in long hair. Next is history. You know, all throughout time, you think of like the Victorian era, and they all had very beautiful long hair like mine, or even longer. You think of Little House in the Prairie, and they always, you know, talked about the women, and they had the long braids and long hair. Music, you know, I love the 1960s, the hippie era. You think of Cher, you know, she had very long black hair, and in the 70s, Crystal Gayle, definitely one of my inspirations, country singer who had hair, you know, down to the floor. And so I think to answer the question why I do is because I'm inspired by art, music, history. The next is, what makes long hair so unique? Well, I think it's unique because it's something you don't see all the time. A lot of times when I'm out in public, I tend to have the longest hair around me, and it can attract some attention. And I'm a pretty shy person, but I'm getting more used to it. And what really makes me happy is when little children, especially little girls, come up to me. And a lot of times when I have my hair down too, I like to wear dresses and long dresses, long hair. So they'll ask me, are you a princess? Or they'll say, Mommy, look at her hair, or I want to grow my hair that long. And that always makes me so happy. Other people will approach me and just compliment me, and it's such a beautiful thing, you know. So I definitely feel like that makes me unique. It's definitely one of my trademarks. And like I said, I'm obviously not doing it for attention. I'm a very shy, conservative type of person, so sometimes it will catch me off guard when I get complimented, but I just think it's a beautiful thing, and it's unique because you don't see it every day. So my next question is, why should other people grow their hair long? Kind of piggybacking off the last question with it being unique, I think people should grow their hair long because it's such a beautiful process. I think you know, you think back to art, music, history, and you just gotta find what inspires you. And for me, I love the process. You know, it's just a beautiful process for me, and it's almost like a hobby, you know, like how some people are into bodybuilding, which I used to be, and I still am very much into fitness, but you know, seeing your muscles grow, you know, putting in that hard work. Well, the same is true for hair, you know, just like muscle, it's made of protein, you know, and if you eat well and you exercise well and you know, wash it, take care of it, it's gonna grow, you know. So it's such a beautiful thing. Which leads me to the next question, which is, what is the mindset and amount of patience you need to be able to grow long hair? Well, I think patience is a beautiful thing, and you definitely need it to grow long hair. You gotta have the mindset of, you know, this is a lifelong journey. This is not something that can come overnight. So you definitely have to be dedicated and disciplined. I personally love it so much. I know there's some people who get bored of long hair, or they find they need another style. I never feel that. I just love it, and the longer it gets, I just want to keep growing. So you got to be a very patient person, and I consider myself patient because in addition to growing out my hair, I also play the harp, and it's got 29 strings, which it's not even a full-size harp, but someday I would love to have a full-size harp. But my point is, I have to tune all 29 strings. You know, it's a heavy instrument. It takes time. I have to load it up when I do a gig. You know, I have to tune it up, put it in the thing, in its case, get in my car, and it's heavy, you know, and just like long hair, it can be heavy. But my point is, there's some instruments like ukuleles and guitars, you only have 6 strings to tune, you put in your bag, it's light, easy to go, and that's kind of a metaphor for people with shorter hair. So you have to have the mindset of being patient and just putting in the time, because it does take extra time as opposed to short hair, but really not that much extra time. And if you have long hair and growing, you become so used to it. When people say, doesn't it take you so long? Not really, you know, and it's your time, and if you love long hair, then you're not really gonna mind the extra couple minutes it might take to brush it, or to just tie it up before you go out, you know, and put it up in a bun or braid it up. So the next question is, what is a typical hair day for me? So I sleep with my hair in a braid every night. So when I wake up, I like to take out my braid, just let it loose. You know, and I do my routine. I have my coffee, I have my breakfast, I meditate, get my mind set for the day. If I'm working, I will then brush my hair out, and I always start with the ends, and I just brush very carefully. Depending on the day, I will either put it in a braid or I'll put it in a bun. I never do a ponytail or wear it down to work. Because my hair is so long, wearing it in a ponytail is just like wearing it down, and it risks the chance of tangling or you know, just getting damaged. So I love braids, they're very easy. And I also love buns, so I try and alternate between those. If I do have my hair down, as you can see, it is long enough to sit on. So what do I do when I sit down? I take it and I just put it on my lap. And it's easy as that, you know. And I also get asked, what do you do when you go to the bathroom so you don't sit on it? If I have it down, I just wrap it around my neck like so. And that way when I go to the bathroom, I don't have to worry about sitting on it. I also do that with a braid because my braid, you know, goes to about the middle of my butt. So I don't want it to go in the toilet, and I've never had that happen. So that's typically what a day is like. I tend to wash my hair about every other day to every 4 days. In the summer, I wash it more just because I sweat more and it gets oily more. So I did wash it today. You can see it has a little bit of a glow. So on days I wash it, I don't like to use any heat. So I will just let my hair air dry. And once it's drying for a couple hours, I will take a wide tooth comb and just start from the ends and just comb all the way up. I never brush it when it's wet, and I never like to style it when it's wet because that can damage it. I won't do a bun. Sometimes I'll do a wet braid if I need to go somewhere and it's not fully dry. So that's what a typical day is like. And then before I go to bed, I get my wide tooth comb, just give it a good comb, and then I braid it up, and it's just such a fun ritual pretty much, and it just relaxes me, sets me up for the evening. The next one is my favorite hairstyle. Honestly, I love just wearing it down. I love how it looks. I love wash days or days I don't have to work or do too much. I'll just wear it down. And I just love a simple braid. It's just easy, classic, out of the way, and it just looks so beautiful. It just fits me, I feel. So what do I love about Real Rapunzels, and why do I want to be a part of them? So I just love Real Rapunzels because they give women or people the opportunity to just keep growing. They encourage growth, just positive energy, positive vibes. They're also beautiful energy. A lot of them are very intelligent. So I want to be a part of that, and I just want to inspire other people and show, that I've been doing it. It takes time. It's been 8 years of my journey, but I love it. Which leads me to the last question or statement. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks of what I've learned throughout the years. So some people say, do you ever cut or trim it? And the answer is yes, and actually quite frequently. So what I suggest is buying a pair of hair scissors and using it only for your hair. And what you do is you do small sections and you just twirl your hair like that. If you see any splits, you just trim what you see and you go through. And yes, it takes time, but it will leave your hair very smooth. Another tip I have is don't use any heat. Don't use blow dryers, don't use straighteners, curling irons, because heat will damage your hair. Don't dye your hair, don't bleach it, don't get highlights. Keep it as natural as possible, because when it's in its natural state, it is healthy. Once in a while, I will use a blow dryer if I need to be somewhere, or if it's very cold outside and I want my hair to be dry. And what I do is I just put it on a low setting, and there's sprays you can spray in your hair that help protect it. And I don't blow dry it all the way, I'll just do the wet spots. Another tip I have, as I mentioned before, when you brush or comb it, you start from the bottom, you never snag through. Being patient, this took me 8 years of growing. And yes, I've got plenty of trims, and the reason I get trims is just to keep the ends healthy. So I just started going to a long hair salon. It is called Enchantress, and I absolutely love it. So I'm trying to get my hair trimmed twice a year, so every 6 months. And at the long hair salon, they just cut the bare minimum, just a teeny bit off your ends. And then my stylist, he goes through and he does what I do, but he does it so thorough. He just grabs little sections of hairs and he just trims it off. It's just such a wonderful experience. So I suggest getting your hair trimmed about twice a year, just to keep it nice and healthy and straight and even, and keep it growing. Keep up on doing your split end trims because it will keep your hair smooth and healthy. Keeping your hair protected, like I mentioned before. One thing you can do that is just by braiding your hair when you go to bed. Every night I like to comb it out really good before bed, and I just braid it. I normally do a braid in the back, but just doing a side braid right now. Another nighttime great habit you can do is sleeping on a silk or satin pillowcase. It reduces the friction and rubbing. If your hair is longer than your bottom, obviously, you want to make sure you're not sitting on it. Wearing your hair up, always carrying like chopsticks to use or hair clips, and that way you never know when you need to get it up quick. So those are some tips and tricks that I have that have helped me, and I would love to be able to share more with you. And also, some things you can do when washing your hair is I wash my hair about every 2 to 4 days. So right now it's summertime, so I tend to do every other day in the summer just because I sweat more. And I personally have an oily scalp, so today I clarified, and it's so important to clarify your hair, especially if you have naturally oily hair. Now, I don't use any products that would build up in my hair, but if you do, it's very wise to clarify. However, because I have naturally oily hair, my own oils will build up. So that's why clarifying is so important. I use Avalon Organics Lemon Clarifying Shampoo and Conditioner. When I do wash, I only shampoo my scalp and I only condition the ends. The rest will just get run down from the shampoo. I also like to use Giovanni Organic Shampoo and Conditioner and Nature's Gate Organic Shampoo and Conditioner. I don't like to use anything with sulfates or silicones, as that tends to weigh my hair down. I do apple cider vinegar rinses. I did one today, and that will just clean anything that feels build up. It will balance your pH. It prevents dandruff, and it just helps your hair be shiny. So what I do is I get a big cup of water and I mix about 1/4 to 1 cup mixture. So 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of water. I mix it in a big coffee mug and I just slowly pour it on my hair, and then I'll dip the ends in, let it pour down, but mainly concentrate on my scalp, and I leave that on for about 5 minutes after I wash and condition. And then after 5 minutes, I just rinse through and it will just be nice and shiny. So those are some tips and tricks and an introduction. I have plenty more to share, and I look forward to working with Real Rapunzels and providing you more videos. Thank you so much for watching.